Good morning, Jane.
Good morning, Jane. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course. Minaj is here as well. Minaj, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me all right?
I
I'm
can.
Anna.
Awesome. Amazing.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. So, all is well?
All is well. Yes. Thanks for. Oh, Ronnie covered for me last week. Yeah, I went canoeing last week. Had a break. That was great. Where are you
Awesome,
going this
awesome.
weekend?
Well, it's on the 13th and 14th and 15th. We just took a day off. We'll probably go to
Oh, right. Yes.
Tobermory.
Oh, nice. My daughter's up there right now.
Oh, really? Maybe you can tell me
Yeah,
about it later.
I will. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Awesome. Sounds good, you guys. Okay. Well, it is exactly 11 o'clock. We've got people joining us. Maybe we'll give it a couple of minutes here
Okay,
and then we'll get started. So, yeah, let's come back in 2 minutes.
wonderful.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. All right, good morning, everybody. It is 11:02. So as promised, let's get started. We have lots to cover, and I'm excited today because you don't just have me, Jane Stevens, but you have Jane Pearson, and Minaj is also joining me. So welcome, you guys. Thanks for joining me on today's webinar.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hi, awesome. All right, so let's jump right in. So obviously this is our customer service webinar, and it's an important one because we want to be providing the best customer service, of course, so that it reflects in not just our reviews, but the reviews for Zolo. So I'm going to share with you guys the Google reviews that we have. And I think right now we're at a 4 point, last time I checked was 4.2. We might have increased a little bit, but this is something that we're really trying to focus on. So if you guys have clients who are super happy, please ask them to not just rate you guys, like if you have your own Google page or your Facebook page and you're taking, having reviews posted there, ask them to also rate Zolo. It does help us out. So yeah, I'm going to double check, but I think we are at 4.2. So Jane and Minaj, have you guys had agents who have been posting these reviews or asking clients to post reviews?
Yes, in fact, there are a few agents, who have been consistently doing it because, and they put it very tactfully, letting their clients know that we would love to hear back about your experience with me as well as with the organization, and your feedback is really important. We like to know what went well and what we can improve on. So they do that very consistently, yes, and it helps.
It does help. Yes, that's a great way to ask for the review. And it's also so important to ask for the review as soon as the deal closes, right? If you are asking for reviews a week later, they're not as enthusiastic. So ask for them to write a review as soon as the business closes. Would you agree, Jane?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or at the high point, whatever their most excited, happy point is. I would ask right then for the testimonial and the review.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
So
point.
yeah, if you guys can be asking your clients to do that, that would be awesome. I can't see it on my phone to update you guys on the current rating, but hopefully you guys also have your own Google business that you can set up. It's free to set up, and then you can also be asking your clients to rate you a review. As I mentioned briefly, if you have a Facebook page, which I think I've got an example here, Valerie, she's one of our Zolo agents, and she has a few reviews on her business page. So there's lots of places where you can ask for reviews, but really this also, not just provides a review, but also gives you credibility. So think of this as your online resume, right? If somebody is looking for an agent, even if they talk to you through the Zolo system, and then they just want to double check, who is this person that I just spoke with, and they Google you, you do want to have some reviews coming up just to, again, give you that credibility, right? They know that they're talking to a professional realtor, you've done this before, and you have the testimonials to back you up. Do most of your agents have Facebook pages that you know of? Are they accepting reviews that way, or how are your agents accepting reviews?
I'm finding now that's what I'm really been pushing lately, agents to be asking for reviews and testimonials. And then we've also drafted and put together, Hamed has helped an intro piece, including testimonials to send out to leads.
Yeah.
At first contact.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great suggestion. Yeah. So definitely adding that in your, possibly your follow-up email, right? Love that suggestion. For sure. So a quick note here that when you guys take people out on showings, that you enter in the showing after you've taken them out, just because that is going to send an automatic text message from the system to your client, and they're basically going to be asked to rate their Zolo agent. So if you haven't met with them and you're entering the showing prematurely, then that text message will be sent out too soon before they've even met you. So make sure you're entering those showings afterwards, and this is how Zolo leads will rate you, right? And so they'll provide a review for you as well within the Zolo system. And maybe you guys can talk a little bit about how these reviews come to you, because I know that it's sort of, you guys as growth managers get it in the back end, and then are you able to share it with your agents, or how does that work?
Sure. So we have, there's an area that I'm sure we all check at least once daily, and it is the reviews from clients after showing. So of course, like you said, that it should always go in after the showing, because it's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll see, oh, I haven't had a showing, I haven't seen any properties, and the agents are just trying to be organized and update the CRM. So afterwards is definitely great. The agents were rated 1 to 5, and a lot of clients will put in extra comments, which is really nice to see. So honestly, I know I watch my team comments, and I'm sure it's the same with all the Zolo agents. I rarely see negative comments. I see a lot of really great comments, and then I'll copy and paste and send them on to the agents to make sure that they've seen them, that they're getting this great feedback. It's a great tool. I love that tool, actually.
Yeah, it is a great tool.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, because sometimes if they're busy, as growth managers, when we copy paste and send it to them, it really motivates them, and also helps them to see what they're doing well. And like Jane said, most of the ratings are very positive, so it kind of makes them more excited and look forward for a better customer service for the next client.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have a couple of agents ask me if negative reviews affect their leads. I know in one instance, somebody had accidentally reviewed or rated the agent as a 1 instead of a 5, just misunderstanding the scale. Another agent had said they had a review, a negative review, because of the weather during the showing. So obviously not a reflection on that particular agent. So does it affect them, or how should they deal with something like that?
No.
Okay,
That's a hard no as far as I see. If it's bad, then generally I'll call the lead, and quite often it's rarely been the agent when it is a low rating. It's usually like, oh, I didn't like the property, and they don't realize they were asked to rate the agent, not the property.
Right.
So honestly, I rarely see bad ratings. And then if it has been an issue or a personality conflict, then I'll call the agent, say, or message to say, depends how well I know the agent, but I'll always message or call the agent and see what happened, and then try to rectify, use it as a learning experience and move forward. But no, it might, yeah, I've never had anybody consistently get bad feedback that would affect their leads.
And
Perfect.
if I may add here, Jane, or actually rather both the Janes, what a coincidence. I want to reiterate again, I mean, it doesn't actually impact the leads or the lead flow. However, it creates like a coaching opportunity, or like, if let's say there have been consistently bad ratings. I mean, as an example, I mean, so that's like a takeaway for the growth manager, that maybe there is a training opportunity here, and that's when they kind of get in touch with the agent and see, okay, what's going on here, and so they try to probe and maybe perhaps help the agent for a better customer service experience for the next time. So I would say it's more like a coaching opportunity, and just to fix what we can, what's in our control.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Absolutely, for sure. So one of the things that I like to touch on with customer service is about the CRM, because really, in order to provide customer service, you have to be organized. You need to know who to follow up with, who to stay in touch with. You need to be really organized. You don't want to be missing appointments. You don't want to be missing, opportunities to let clients know about, maybe what a property sold for, or if it was sold conditional, that the deal fell through. So in order to, again, to provide excellent customer service, you do need to be organized and on top of your CRM. And we can do that within the Zolo system. So if you do have a client that you've been speaking to, there is the ability to schedule activities. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this tool, if you go into the client's profile and you update your activity with a call, and you put in the notes as an example that you provided them with property information, but the property is sold conditionally until Friday, just schedule a follow-up for yourself for that Friday so that you can then reach out to them again and let them know what's happening with that property. Again, whether it firmed up or failed. So again, this is going above and beyond. It is providing maybe the unexpected. So sure, they inquired about a property, but for you to follow up several days later to let them know what happened with the property, again, is just going to, wow the client, hopefully, right? And provide that customer service, and obviously equal a good positive review for you. So anything on that on staying organized, guys?
I would just add that the organization needs to continue after closing, so that if you want repeat business or you want them to think you care, they know that once you got paid, they don't just drop off your radar.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Absolutely.
I think, the next slides here, I believe I'm going to share, there's obviously the Excel spreadsheet that we always recommend that you have as a backup at the very least. But there are other CRMs that will help you. I think I Googled at one point the top real estate CRMs. There are a ton of them. This was a list of 23. And so I've highlighted a few here just because these CRMs will do what Jane just mentioned, right? They will remind you of somebody's birthday. They will remind you of their move-in anniversary. All those anniversaries and dates that will give you an opportunity to follow up with them, to just be top of mind so that when they do come to, maybe sell, or, if they're a renter, when they're looking to buy, hopefully, you've remained in touch so that you are top of mind. So there's lots of CRMs out there. I know, Jane, you were doing a deep dive on this a few months ago, reviewing a few different CRMs to see which ones were best. Did you?
Yeah, Top Producer and Agent Locator. I used Agent Locator. I liked it. I don't use it now, obviously, because I'm in this position. So, but Agent Locator and Top Producer, I got the best feedback on.
Yeah. So Top Producer is the one that I've got up on the screen, but yes, Agent Locator is it can also be used as a lead generating website. So you can have your website and then it has a backend CRM. So yeah, it can keep track of all these dates and that sort of thing. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, can I just interject for anybody with Agent Locator? You can use it just as a CRM if you're paying for lead generation. You will likely find now that, well, not likely, the probability is very high that Zolo's technology is so far advanced now, it's overtaken. So if people are paying for agent locator leads, start cross-referencing, because agents are getting really good quality leads through Zolo.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. You can definitely just build your business off of the Zolo leads and not have to generate your own outside. But it is an option. But yeah, otherwise, if you're just using the CRM and agent locator, it is a really good tool. So I'm not sure if they do drip campaigns and that sort of thing, but these, do you know if they do, Jane? They do?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you can set up, there are a number of templates. You can customize your own. You can set up whatever timeline. And on the customer service and customer appreciation or acknowledgement, one thing I would suggest is don't do the expected. Like, don't do Christmas or Hanukkah or birthdays. Come out of the blue during the quieter months. February is a good month. People are generally down in the dumps in February. You know, send them seeds or something for the spring. Yeah, anyway, I just always try and differentiate yourself. Try to do something that other people aren't doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, those pop buys, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, pop buys or mail outs or whatever, just something different. That's all. There are lots of websites and lots of ideas, and I know I tried to get going on our team page some stuff. We're working on that, so maybe we can start that somewhere on Workplace. People can start sharing ideas.
Yeah, that would be great, actually. So a marketing plan of sorts, right? When to drop off certain things, when to be in touch with your clients outside of your CRM. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and ideas, different ideas, personal ideas.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah, there are other, obviously, CRMs that are out there. Exact Contact, I think, is probably one of the most affordable and probably the most bang for your buck. You do get a website here. You have your CRM. They will send out newsletters. So there's quite a few different features with Exact Contact. There is a free trial if you want to just give it a go. And then I think it's only $30 a month, where I think Top Producer might be a little bit more expensive and in US dollars, right? Love that when it's in US dollars. So yeah, maybe another example that I have here of a CRM, Realty Juggler is another one that I've used in the past. If you could get past the interface, which kind of looks like it was designed in the 90s, I don't even know. It does have really good features in there as well, especially for keeping track of your commission. So, you know, that's another thing about having a CRM in place. Not only does it keep you in touch with your clients, with your database, but it also tracks your business. So just, you know, being really organized is obviously going to help you provide really good customer service, right? You're on top of things, you know what to do next. Last but not least, I think this is the last one for the CRM. There's a ton, as I said, you can Google and find a whole bunch of different CRMs. This one is another one that's a free suggestion. I always try to suggest things that are free. So Real Office 360 was another one that I came across. You can literally drag and drop your clients so that you know at what stage they're in. Keeping track also of what they're looking for, what their budgets are, because if you do find out, for example, through the workplace group, somebody has posted a listing, it's exclusive, it hasn't hit the MLS yet, then you might want to go into your database, see, okay, who was looking in that price point and in that area, and reach out to them and ask them if this is something that might be of interest. So again, just going above and beyond and doing the unexpected. All right, so talking about having a daily schedule is just something else to really stay top of mind, right? Having those tasks that you do every day and having it, you know, laid out even as a checklist of sorts, right? So that you know you're always doing all the different things that you have to do in your business. So again, that's gonna help you provide customer service. If you have, say, a time schedule during the day where you're going to do your follow-up, so you're going to reach out to those past clients. If you're doing that consistently every day, then you're not going to forget about people, right? So just having some sort of a daily schedule. What's your take on that, you guys?
Well, that definitely is a, yes, that definitely is a good thing to do. Actually, my screen's froze, so now I'm using my phone to see where Jane is actually right now. So sorry, my apologies.
I'm frozen as well.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're talking about scheduling activities. I mean, obviously that's a really, really great thing to do because you need to plan your day and schedule your daily activities. Because just to give you an example, I mean, sometimes, you know, when we have new agents, let's say, join in and they get like, you know, few leads, let's say first thing in the morning or late at night. and they feel like, they get kind of overwhelmed because the day is not planned. So my recommendation always is to, schedule your day. I mean, let's say, because obviously your job is on the road. I mean, but taking the leads and is the first thing you like to do. So, I mean, schedule your day in a way which is convenient to you. I mean, maybe perhaps, let's say a couple of hours in the morning time or in the late, let's say after 6 o'clock, whatever may be suitable to your needs. So plan your activities. I mean, so let's say, I mean, I have to make calls to my clients between, let's say, 10 to 12, and then schedule my showings from 12 to 5. And then later in the evening, I'm gonna, make some more calls again or update the system. So uh, that's probably the right thing to do, because otherwise, I've seen people, especially when they join Zolo, they're all over the place and they get overwhelmed, they get behind, and they're not able to timely follow up on their leads as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, you don't want to be a realtor on demand. I know that, when agents first start out, and especially, joining Zolo, it's exciting to get leads and you want to attend to them really quickly. And you think you're providing great customer service by literally dropping everything and going out and showing them the property they want to see. But that's going to be hard to stay on top of. It's going to be hard to be organized if you're always dropping everything and running out the door. So yeah, try to have a time, as Manoj was suggesting, between 4 and 7, whatever it's going to be, where you go and you do your showings, so that if they do request, a showing right now, this instant, you just push them to the time that you've scheduled for yourself to do showings. And oftentimes people are available, right? They may request 11 a.m., but they may also be available at 4, right? So just ask them if they're available then, and then take them out when it suits your daily schedule. Otherwise, you're going to lose track of your other tasks and other things to do. So hopefully, can people see my screen, or is it still frozen?
No, it's still frozen.
Still-
I would
still
add
frozen.
only one thing there, that when agents are speaking to the leads, all you have to say is, if they want to see it in an hour, just say, I'm sorry, I'm booked. I'm available between 4 and 7. Are you available? Try not to explain that, no, I only do showings between 4 and 7.
Oh,
Just
yes,
say you're booked. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I'm not sure what to do in order to get this screen working. I'm just going to switch slides, see if that helps. But we're going to be talking about calls. So again, just having a system for yourself and setting some standards, right? So it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to do my calls between 10 and 12, and then again, maybe later on in the day. But, maybe have a system in place where you're going to make 10 calls, you're going to send 10 emails, you're going to send 10 text messages. But even better, it's best to, have a goal of setting at least one appointment, right? So that you are making the calls, you are sending the emails, you are sending the text messages, and your day is not done until you've at least scheduled one showing appointment. So just setting some sort of standards for yourself, how many hours you're going to work per day, how many appointments you're going to book per day, and have that as a goal. Okay, let me see. So where are you guys? Is the screen still frozen? Let me just.
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
for everybody. If you see the group chat, Jane, I think the agents can't see the moment also, so they're, I think, stuck on the screen.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is probably a Zoom thing. I'm not sure how to fix it, but let me just see if I can see. Let me try something here. So I've got the screen up here for attitude, but let me just see if I can fix this this share. Just a moment here. Let me know if you see any changes. Sorry guys, not sure why.
Yeah, it's moving.
Now, there you go.
Okay, from current slide. Okay, I'm just, it's working. Yay.
Excellent.
All right, perfect. So I will monitor this on my phone as well, so that I can see what you guys are seeing. And Manoj, take it away with attitude is everything.
Yes, absolutely. And first of all, I want to say thanks to Jane Stevens, for hosting awesome trainings twice a week. I mean, diligently, and Jane, it's really appreciated by all the agents.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
So great job
thank you from every single one of us.
Thank you.
Every agent, every manager, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
And Jen, I have to say that because you and I now work together, right, on the same team.
Yes, that's right.
So I have to make her happy.
Well, thanks, you guys.
All right. So welcome everyone to the customer service training again. Sorry for that, the screen issue here, but now it seems to be fixed. As you can see now that we are on the page, which is called attitude. So that kind of ties in with what customer experience is going to be all about, and what your role may look like when it comes to talking with your customers or even meeting with your customers. Um, so what we did basically, we kind of broke it down, what attitude is all about, because that's where it starts. Your engagement with your clients and your customers starts right from here. So whether you're taking a call, whether you're meeting them in person, the same principle will apply at all the time. And if you're able to absorb and get most of these attributes when you're engaging your client, the chances of you being successful, will become very high, and in turn is going to, create revenue generation for you and high customer satisfaction, as well as the company's shareholders will be happy. So it's like a service profit chain completion. So going back to attitude again, what is attitude all about? So A, basically, you can see on your screens, it's you always, start, your conversation by greeting your clients and your customers with a very warm opening. And there's no customized sheet or scripts in terms of this. You have to, use what's more comfortable for you. But obviously there are many out there, and you can Google, how to open a call with your clients, and you will come up with tons of examples, how to start up your call. And throughout your conversation, it's really, really important that you treat your clients with respect. You have to keep one thing in the mind, that Zolo has got a wonderful and great platform where we're not reaching out to the customers, but the clients are actually, registered with us, and they're the ones who want to, your help. But at the same time, they don't know you, you don't know them, and they have a specific need. Maybe they will be calling about, whether it's a lease, whether it's just information about a property, or whether, potentially it could be a buy client. So treating every customer in the same manner, regardless whether it's a lease, whether it's just an inquiry, or whether it's because eventually all these things will get to where you want to be, turn it into a buy lead or a sell lead. So treat them with respect. The third one, talking and emotionally connecting with your customers. Now, it's really important piece, and it's got a very, very deep meaning if you really think about it. When you're having a conversation, I mean, think about, like when you're at your home, and talking, let's say, to your kids. Most of the time you are able to, or you are emotionally connecting with them, meaning you are getting on their side, understanding where they're coming from, listening to them carefully, what their needs may be like. So emotionally connecting, is really important, especially nowadays. We are all going through a very unique and out of normal situation, which is COVID-19. And so we have to be, keep our connection very high, because during the conversation, I'm 100% sure that all of you go through, with your clients, and when they bring up, yeah, it's COVID-19, is it safe? And what, so that's how you will emotionally connect with them. Yes, we are going through some difficult times. You're absolutely right, but not to worry. I take all the necessary precautions to make sure of, that of your health, your safety, as well as, the seller, and we'll get into that a little bit later as well. How to, like, interacting with your customer again. Call types are basically, and here we're going to talk about specific call types. There are two types. One is transaction based, one is interaction based. Now, transaction based calls are basically, we're talking about somebody's calling about an inquiry, and I want to know about this property. And you give them the information, okay, this property is listed for this amount, and they have an offer presentation on this date, and this has got 2,000 square feet, let's say. So this is moreover like a transaction-based call where you're just handling the information. Now, what's really important is, that relationship right there could either end or could move on, but it's all up to you. Jane, can we possibly move to the slide again, attitude? Thank you. So the reason it's important is because you want to make sure that when you're having the conversation with them, you're interacting. Oh, how nice! I'm sure you must be looking. Looks like you're ready to move to another property, or you're planning to buy something. Are you looking for some so you can have like a small chat, because that's where you start to build your engagement with the client. And the more you will do it, the more comfortable your clients will become. Next thing is tailor and customize your services to your client. So apples to apples. So whatever your client is asking, let's keep it to the specific, to the point. Just to give you an example, I know you are all very smart, you know what you have to do, but if a client is looking for a property in Brampton within the price range, and you're offering them a property, let's say in Richmond Hill, so we're not actually tailoring their needs. If they're looking for 2 washrooms, then we're giving them 1 washroom properties. So you need to actively listen to what they're actually looking for, and then customize your service and tailor to their needs. Okay. Understanding your customers' needs is also, again, ties in with tailoring. I mean, active listening is really, really important. I mean, that's where you need to know what the client is actually asking, and that comes with more probing on your part. The more probing you will do, the more you will be able to understand your customers' needs. Discover the impact you will have on your customers. Now, towards the end of the call, after doing all this, you will get a good feeling about, what the clients, are feeling right now, or what kind of impression or impact you're going to leave with the client. And it all depends how you engage with that client in the rest of the conversation. And last, not but the least, throughout the call, excite your customers. Have fun conversation, make them relaxed, because again, they are just calling us, or let's say you even in this case, or in one case maybe you could be calling them. So they're just trying to get to know you. So they're gonna be hesitant. So we need to. The more we're gonna engage here and excite them, have a fun conversation, and the more chances are that that you will continue to have the relationship with the client.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks.
for that. So yeah, definitely attitude is everything. You really want to be bringing that positive attitude into your calls, and really, answering every call professionally, making sure you're greeting, professionally introducing yourself as a Zolo agent, and then having a conversation. I always like to say, start off the conversation with "How can I help you?" and try to end the conversation with "When would you like to see the property?" Presuming, of course, that you've asked them some pre-qualifying questions in between those 2 questions, and they are qualified and somebody that you want to work with, or somebody that you can work with. So Manoj, I know you wanted to speak a little bit about this as well.
Absolutely, Jen. Thank you. So now, what is a typical call flow? It's very simple, very straightforward. So there are 3 portions of a call, and they all kind of tie in how to wow and delight our clients during that call. And these 3 ways will help you and to wow and delight your clients and keep that client until let's say the deal is done, or perhaps the relationships can last much longer. So when a call comes in, or whenever you're calling a client, make sure that you have a very warm greeting and opening remarks. You could personalize it by saying your name. Hi, this is Manoj calling from Zolo Realty. Sorry, I missed your call, or you called earlier, or I believe you have, you're trying to find out about more information about this specific property. So an appropriate opening remark with your introduction and a will to assist attitude will definitely help you, to have a good foundation in that call. Also part of that warm greetings and opening remarks, personalize your interactions and be engaged. Right from the beginning, because that's going to be your, like I said, your foundation. Like I'm sure like Jane will also agree, like, we do a lot of call listening as well. And it kind of, I still go through a lot of times where I find like some agents, like a client is calling in and it'll be, hello, you know,
Yeah.
so, and that's kind of, put yourself in the client's shoes. I mean, that's the best approach I can always recommend. And put yourself, assuming you're the client, and you're calling, let's say, and you're so excited, you like a property, you checked on the Zolo site, and you want to buy that property or want to lease that property or whatever it may be. Now, obviously, you're calling us for a reason. So if you call, let's say Zolo, and uh, you know, and get such a cold response with no introduction, first of all, you will feel maybe I called a wrong number. You know, did I call the right number, or is it Zolo I'm talking to? Or it won't be a great start, like to begin with, like because they don't know. I mean, because they're looking for a very professional attitude, and this is gonna be leave a good impression on them. Whether yes, I mean, if you say your tone should be crisp and confident right from the beginning. So I mean, make sure that you set up your own greetings, because your phone is tied up with the Zolo line, and that the calls will come through your phone system. Your friends will understand, and they or your family knows that where you work. So it's a good idea to have a warm greeting, or even when you're talking to a client, make sure that that at least you have a full introduction, so that the client is comfortable now that they call the right place and they're gonna get the right help here. So warm greeting, opening remarks are really, really critical. And be very polite, have a friendly and yet very confident and crisp tone right from the beginning. And your attitude here again is going to make a big difference. You got to show the will to help the customer, to assist them. Maintain a positive attitude, throughout the call again, and use positive verbiages, reassuring verbiage. Absolutely, no problem. You got the right person. I'm here for you. I'll look up all the details. So there's so many things so many ways you can engage with your clients. And actively listen to your clients in the opening remarks. Again, this is the critical part, guys, because once we are calling them or they're calling us, we need to make them aware that we get what they're looking for. And for you as well, it's going to help you, because if you know what they're looking for, you can then answer accordingly, and you can tailor your conversation based on what you're hearing. So that's how you pretty much like start your conversation. And that ties in with the next part, which is understanding the needs of the clients and adding value. So that's again where you will now, not that you've established they're calling for something in your opening remarks, or if you're calling them, you already have an idea what the call may be about. But this is where you're gonna, this is where most of the call should be spent, understanding and understanding the needs and adding the value to the conversation. And again, emotionally connecting here with your clients by having a small talk. How exciting, how nice. I think you're making a great choice. The timing is just perfect. There's so many ways you can tailor the conversation. So like I said, again, there's no hard script for it. Every call is different. So you have to tailor the conversation based on how the conversation is going, okay? Show acknowledgement, in terms of when you're dealing with with the client. Yes, absolutely. Make sure that you use a lot of power words there. I understand your concern. Yeah, this property may look a little bit old, but not to worry. There are many other properties in the same neighborhood with maybe a bigger, maybe with bigger rooms, and so understanding what they're looking for, and acknowledging to their needs, and then also asking them relevant conversation. That's definitely going to help you. Don't be scared to ask questions, and be very tactful when you talk to them about asking questions. Say, okay, may I ask you some questions that'll help me, narrow down to specific properties which may interest you, or which may be something you and your family are going to enjoy in the future. So ask those kind of questions. Probing is always good, and making sure that asking the more open-ended, relevant questions you're going to ask to qualify their needs, the more answers you're going to get, and the more specific information you're going to be able to provide back to them. Again, use active listening skills. There should be always some kind of acknowledgement every time client is saying, yes, I understand, absolutely, not to worry, leave it to me. Like, there's so many ways you can establish that. In turn, that's going to establish to the client, yes, you're listening to them, first of all. Second, that you know what they're looking for. And at the same time, that, yeah, you're the person who really knows what they're doing, and you will be able to help them. And again, we may probably have the list here. I'm not sure if Jane has added. I forgot about it. But use a lot of power words. I mean, go to Google. You will find a lot of power words that are related to real estate market. Like, this is a great area, peace and quiet. Great community. I think you're making the right decision by looking for a property in this area. Known for, one of the best rating schools. So there's so many power words you can connect, because if a client doesn't know too much about the property, or maybe even if they know, but the more value that you're going to add, then they will know that, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, or this person knows a lot of this area. So make sure you're well prepared when you're actually talking to the client, as well as, building confidence during that conversation. And once you've done all that, I mean, again, the most critical piece here is how to close that dialogue now. Recap, gain commitment, again, from the client. Okay, Mr. Smith, I mean, as we agreed, I'm going to be booking a showing, or I will be sending you more property within the specific area, or let's say whatever it may be. So gain a commitment, and now that will bring you both on the same page, and client will have an expectation, and you're kind of setting up an expectation with your client what to do next, or what they could expect next. Customize your closing based on that with a personal closing remark. Mr. Smith, it was really, really wonderful talking to you today, and as promised, I will be sending you some properties once I reviewed, to the email, to your email address, and we will definitely connect again very soon. Have a wonderful day. So the call could, something like that could turn the client around, because again, the first interaction could potentially could make or break the second interaction. And this is where you're going to add a lot of value. This is where you're going to get that client either come to you or leave. So this is the most critical part, because this is the beginning of that journey you're going to have with that client, maybe for 1 year, maybe for a few years from now, right? So this part is really, really important. James, you want to add anything, both of you?
Yeah, thanks for that. That was so thorough. Yeah, I really appreciate you going through that. We do actually have a couple of great comments that have come in, or a question and a comment. So we'll address the question first. How do you tell when you receive a call that it's a new lead calling? Jane, do you want to answer that one?
Oh.
I'm not sure, Kenneth. I see it's Kenneth's question. I would assume, I'm not sure if you're talking when it's coming into your phone, but generally every phone call involves identifying who the caller is and what it is they're looking for. So you'll pretty quickly be able to identify who's a new lead and who's not, just once you get into the conversation with them. And I want to add just a couple of things to what Manoj talked about. I always tell agents, or anybody really in customer service, when you're dealing with someone, I always try to get a mindset for people to be professional, but treat people as if you are hosting them in your home. So that brings you, it'll give you an approachability while you're still delivering a professional image. And because ultimately you want the lead or the client to feel safe with you, because unless they feel safe with you, they're not going to move forward with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of my things. That's all I have to add on that. Great
Awesome.
job, Manoj.
Oh, oh, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for, again, being so thorough. This is just a quick example of how the conversation might go. So again, just answering your phone professionally. So that question that came in about how do we know if it's a new lead, just always assume if your phone rings and that number is not in your contacts, you don't recognize it, just assume that it's a new lead, right? Answer your phone professionally. If it's a telemarketer, then that's fine. You've just answered your phone professionally, no harm done, right? So just assume that it's a new lead, introduce yourself. I like to say from Zolo.ca as opposed to Zolo Realty. I just find that people recognize that. But if it has been more than a few minutes since the lead asked you for information, then you might want to just remind them as to what it was that they were inquiring about, right? And then of course, as I said at the beginning, how can I help you? I always like starting the conversation with that. Oftentimes people will tell you their whole life story. So, that's when you start your active listening. And then when you have a good understanding of what it is that they need, then hopefully, you can repeat some of that back to them. And then a good way to kind of turn the conversation around so that, you've probably done all of the listening at this point, for you to now maybe take over and show your expertise is maybe to ask, how familiar they are with the process, right? So you can kind of go beyond just the, how many bedrooms are you looking for? What's your budget? What's your timeline? You want to be asking all these questions, of course, but then you want to be asking how familiar they are with the process. This is going to basically hand the conversation over to you so that you can then step in and explain to them what they need to do. So, I mean, if you're talking to a lead that's looking to rent, obviously there's lots to talk about there. We have a whole other webinar on how to pre-qualify those leads. You want to be asking them credit score, income, that sort of thing. But of course, as Manoj said as well, you want to be building a rapport with these clients. So you don't want it to come across as an interrogation. You just want to be informing them that, landlords are going to need to see this information and do they have it ready? And, it's your role to inform them of what it is that's going to be required, right? If it's a buyer, then, you have a bit of a different conversation. I love this next comment that came in from somebody here saying, needing motivation, right? You guys need motivation. It's oftentimes that we are working with buyers and then you're right, you take them out on a showing or two and then they decide to work with somebody else, right? So what happened? So I think if you want to build loyalty from these leads, it starts with the conversation, but then it also, I think, really requires a follow-up email, which we'll talk about in a second, to really distinguish yourself as a buyer specialist and going beyond just the, what are you looking for? Sure, let's see that property on Saturday at 1. Going beyond that, so you're providing excellent customer service so that at the end of the day, they do choose you to, either buy their property or rent their property. You're going to be their agent of choice because you're asking them questions, you're informing them of the process, and then you're following up with an email that maybe introduces you, right? Maybe you have a bit of a buyer's package that you put together, maybe even a
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, we just lost her, or
I think we did. Is everybody else here? I don't think so.
so. I guess
Let's see.
yeah, we'll wait for
Pamela,
Jane to come in.
Pamela, can you hear me?
Okay, I see.
Oh, okay, Pamela. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's continue on. Let's address a couple of the questions until Jane finds her way back. This is Jane Pearson speaking, not Jane Stevens, the trainer. Okay, now I want to go back. It says, someone asked, can we add something in Zolo that says this is not for people who already work with another agent? That is really lost opportunity, and I have a story to go with that. A few months ago, everybody on my team knows this story. A few months ago, an agent phoned me. He was very frustrated with a lead who has a cousin who's an agent, but she kept peppering with questions and calling. So I said, okay, give me your number and I'll call. So I called as a customer service and I had a conversation with her. And it's certainly she had a cousin who's an agent. And I said, well, let me ask you this. And if would it be easier for you to fire your cousin or fire me if you're not happy with service? And she went dead silent. And I said, because if you work with me and then you're not happy with my service, you can fire me easily and you don't have to have Thanksgiving dinner with me. Well, I closed, yeah, so I closed a sale and a buy tomorrow. So 2 deals.
I like that,
and that,
Jane.
right, yeah, so I closed 2 deals, one last week and then tomorrow with these people who, yeah, ultimately she said, yeah, no, we talked about it and you're right. So they don't have to eat with me. So there's always opportunity. And one other thing, while we're waiting for Jane to come back, I wanted to mention is with customer service, treat everybody like a platinum customer. Doesn't matter if it's an $1,100 lease or a $2 million listing or $5 million listing. You don't know who these people are, what changes are coming in their lives in the next few years, or what opportunities. And quite often they're actually just feeling out, or they're waiting to see what our reactions are. And I have another great example for that. An agent on our team a couple of weeks ago, funny, a lease inquiry, don't pass up those lease inquiries, turns out to be a very famous multi-millionaire, billionaire who lives on the bridle path, who the agent went to a party at his, or like I shouldn't say party, an event at his house this past Sunday. He leased a property for his sister, and now the agent on our team is developing a relationship with this multi-gazillionaire who lives across the street from Drake.
Wow.
So opportunity is in the CRMs.
Absolutely, I agree. Not sure if Jane Steven is still on.
I am. I'm back. I'm just sorry about that. I don't know why I got kicked off, but I did catch the tail end of your story there, Jane. That's awesome. There's definitely opportunity in the CRM, and you don't want to be passing up these lease leads. You just never know where it's going to end up or where it's going to go.
Yeah, and everybody is not what they present. They present what they're testing us and evaluating us and basically interviewing us. They're not going to show their whole hand. So make them feel safe. And I always think too, don't concentrate. Of course, we're all in this business to make money. If you concentrate on the money, I guarantee they will pick up that vibe and they'll know. If you actually just stop and listen and care, like Manoj was saying, they will feel it. They'll feel the energy. They'll feel safe with you, and they'll move forward and do business with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, again, I'm not sure why I dropped off there, but before I did, I hope that you guys caught what I was saying. I hope I wasn't talking to myself about following up and maybe having a buyer's package. So just addressing that comment that came in about how to set yourself apart from other buyer agents, how to ensure that you are the chosen agent at the end of the day. I highly suggest having some sort of a buyer's package. So following up that phone call with an email, it serves 2 purposes. Not everybody is going to have that conversation with you and then save all of your contact information into their phone. So it's best to follow up with an email, not just to recap your conversation, but to also include an email signature with all of your contact information so that they can easily reply to you even if they don't enter your name and number into their contacts right away, right? So part of that follow-up email can be a recap of your discussion. It can also recap maybe what it is that they're looking for. It can confirm an appointment. It can do a whole bunch of things, but you might want to include, as I was saying before, some sort of a buyer's package, even if it's an introduction about you. It might be a 1-page PDF where you're introducing yourself, your experience, and the services that you provide to your buyers, right? You may want to have a questionnaire. You may, there's a ton of things that you can add to this, but definitely introducing yourself and telling them how it is that you're going to help, I think will set you apart from other agents and will reduce the fact that, yes, sometimes, buyers are interviewing a whole bunch of different agents and, they go elsewhere, right? So this is a technique that you might want to incorporate into your business. There's a lot of examples of buyer questionnaires that you can do. I actually know of an agent who created a questionnaire in Google Forms. So it's a link that is sent out as part of their follow-up email and super easy for the buyer to fill in more information if that wasn't already captured during the initial call. So just having some sort of thing, I always recommend Breakthrough Broker because they have lots of templates that you can download and customize. And as I said, you can, delete pages, add pages, whatever it is, but at least having your About Me page in there so that they get to know you a little bit better. And video, if you can do video, if you're comfortable in front of the camera, absolutely highly recommend doing a video introduction as part of your follow-up email. It just, again, takes you up that level where they're actually seeing you, and now they feel like they virtually met you, right? So they know who to expect at the showing. They already know a little bit about you, and hopefully, you know, they like you in combination with your phone call, in combination with your video introduction or your attached, you know, PDF biography. You know, hopefully they're getting to like you a little bit more and a little bit more, and eventually choosing you and not going with anybody else. Would you have a template for buyer's package? Yeah, so definitely breakthroughbroker.com has all of these free resources, and you can just download that directly from their website. And again, it has quite a few different pages, so you can pick and choose what you want to include and send that off to your buyer leads as soon as you get off that phone call with them. Anything on that, Jane and Manoj?
Nope.
Awesome.
Good.
I'll just end it with really, you need to know the process in order to educate your clients on what the process is. So even if this is something that you include in your follow-up email, some sort of a roadmap that guides them through what the process is going to be is something that, again, you can find this on Breakthrough Broker. You can customize it, but I've created one for renters. Of course, if you're talking to buyers, you know, you can share something like this where it describes everything that needs to happen, right? Obviously, you're hoping that a buyer gets pre-approved first, but I always say this, go to the showing, even if they're not quite sure what they can afford, because if you just send them, you know, a mortgage broker to talk to or several mortgage brokers to talk to, then the chances of them coming back to you are less than if you had already taken the time to meet with them and then provide them with the referrals that they need, right? Talk to them about the process right from the initial phone call with the follow-up email, and certainly in person when you're doing the showings. So yeah, there's just some roadmaps there, as I said, that you can download and share with your clients. All right, so we have some more comments coming in. Okay, so I'm just gonna type in Breakthrough Broker so you guys can go there and check it out. I'll also upload these roadmaps in case you wanna use them, but let me see what other questions are coming in. Breakthrough Broker, yeah, so I just shared that with everybody. So hopefully you guys incorporate some of this, because again, I love that somebody asked that question about you know, how do we get chosen at the end of the day? And really it is what this webinar is all about. It's all about customer service. That's how you get chosen. And it starts from the phone call with the follow-up email, with the showing, right through to the end, right? Even after the transaction is closed, that's how you get your referral business, because you're continuing to follow up, you're continuing to stay in touch. You're providing customer service and surprising and delighting your customers, providing the unexpected, right? So hopefully, yeah, you'll incorporate some of these different tools and these different, you know, PDFs that you can share with your clients, just so that they, again, get to know you virtually a little bit better before you actually meet them in person. And, you know, you just increase your chances of having a long-term client. So I think I got to everybody's questions. Jane and Manoj, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so sorry we had technical difficulties. No idea what that was all about.
No worries.
No worries. Thank you, Jane.
But
Thanks,
you so
Jane.
much. Really appreciate it. And if you guys have any other questions, reach out to your growth managers. And as I said, I'll post some of this stuff on the workplace training channel. So yeah, there you go. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Thanks again, Jane and Manoj.
Take care.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.